Hi, I'm Jaime, owner of bookkeepers.com, and we exist to help you start, grow, and scale a bookkeeping business. Now, one of the things that we always hear is that AI is coming for us, and I'm here to say it's not coming for us, that AI is here. And because of that, we have a special guest today. That's Jonathan, COO of Portali. Jonathan, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hey, Jaime, happy to be here. Thank you for hosting me here. CEO of Portali, we do AI cleanups, basically helping bookkeepers save valuable time, energy to be more with their families. This is what we're trying to do, really help them and listen to their needs. So this is what we do.
Awesome. So, Jonathan, with Portali, is we use or most bookkeepers are using QuickBooks, right? Is Portali something that works with QuickBooks? Is it something that's replacing QuickBooks? Give me an idea of the workflow of the software itself.
Yeah, so Portali originally was created as a GL tool, as a replacement for QuickBooks. But since entering the US market, we really open to provide bookkeepers with the opportunity to either work with Portali as a general ledger tool or connecting it with QuickBooks for connecting it to the existing workflow already, helping them just save time. So either way, it works and helps save some valuable time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if I'm hearing you correctly, you started as a standalone tool made to replace QuickBooks, and then have just after exploring the U.S. market, you realize you pivoted and said the U.S. market wants to stay in QuickBooks, and so we need to essentially work with it. And now you kind of specialize in the cleanup part of the workflow of a bookkeeper.
Yeah, the word niching down, right, is something that is very, very common in every industry, and we figure out we can't really compete with QuickBooks, at least not for now. They have my other respect, and they have a lot of integrations, reporting, very robust system, stable. So we figure why we should just
Yeah.
join them. If you can win
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
join them. And we niche down to something like called cleanups, basically to really take a specific portion of the work, which is the manual entries, all the manual work. This is where we see that it can really save time. There's a lot of different tools nowadays to practice management, and we try to do all of these, but the
Yeah.
main focus is definitely on the cleanups and the
Yeah.
entries. Yeah.
So, we just left a conference at GrowCon in Salt Lake City, and one of the things that we talked about amongst ourselves as we're like just networking with everybody, that all of the attendees, was is QuickBooks going to get replaced? Are we ready to move on from QuickBooks? So I'm going to ask you that question. Do you think there's going to be a moment in time that QuickBooks is going to be replaced with either Portali or somebody else?
Will it be replaced by Portali? I think we have some time. I think every tool, every technology throughout history in general is replaceable, right? Everyone,
Sure.
when Thomas Edison invented the light, everyone was like, "What are we doing now?" The train. We have a lot of examples as such, and I think AI is this type of inventions, while still, again, the economical model of that is still questionable.
Sure.
But I think it will take some time to replace QuickBooks. They have a big portion of the market, and it will just take a lot of time for people to move to other software. They are stable. They provide stability. So for now, maybe just creating some alternatives slowly. But the market is changing. I can sense it definitely.
I feel like Tyler Otto, the one of the hosts of the Unaccountable podcast, mentioned several times during the conference that it seems like there's a lot of people that are ready to move on from QuickBooks, but they don't really know where to go, and so they stick with it because it's what they know, right? And I will say QuickBooks does a really good job at being a GL tool, and it falls short in other areas. And I'm curious about your opinion, not where QuickBooks falls short, but where are there some areas where you think QuickBooks actually excels and does really well?
Yeah. So first of all, always love to give a shout out, like to give some good words to competitors as well. It's important, right? Because we're all competing in the same field, but it's important to acknowledge some good things. I know for a fact they're pretty good with reporting. they're stable, which is important, and that allows them to basically do a lot of integrations. And integration is definitely where they're taking the lead everywhere. They have integrations from Supercall, which is like software for like booking some services like plumbing, etc. Like these are small, like significantly like smaller software, but they have integrations with them as well, so they can take a big portion of the market wherever like we can enter or kick or digits, because we just take time to integrate all of them. So integrations is definitely their strongest advantage at the moment, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's interesting because one of the things you mentioned, I think the overall arching theme of what they do really well is their stability. And with bookkeepers, we're always looking for stability, and we're always building trust with clients. As a bookkeeper, we look for our clients come to us because they trust us. We often say in bookkeepers.com that your client's not doing business with your bookkeeping business, they're doing business with you as a person because they trust you. And I think that's why bookkeepers struggle to move from one software to another, because although they may not love the software they're using, it's stable, and so they trust it, right? For better or for worse. Now, I have my own opinions about this, and I can talk about this after you. What are some areas where you think QuickBooks falls short, specifically as it relates to AI?
I think, first of all, QuickBooks, it wasn't created for accountants and bookkeepers, and this is like a well-known fact. I mean, that it was created for like a small to medium-sized business at first, and then it somehow got shifted towards accounting, which is a pretty interesting route in general. I think what I hear from accounting is a bit lack of respect, and I don't want to say, but you need to speak with, as you said, with the people on the ground, hear what are their pain points, and I feel like the prices are going up, but the growth, like the improvement in tech, is not growing like accordingly.
At the same rate.
Yeah, at the same rate with the prices. And so now when an end client of a bookkeeping firm paying $120, and the software is pretty much staying the same, you're starting to question certain things, and they're huge. So obviously they have a lot of things to take care of, but still, like the development should be accordingly with the pricing. So
right, yeah, and so it does. I mean, their prices have increased quite a bit, and like you said, originally it was built for a small business owner to do their own books. And somewhere along the way, they switched their strategy because very, very intelligently, they switched to bookkeepers and accountants, because they said, if we can get the bookkeepers and accountants, they're going to extend this to all their clients. And now we have not just one business, but we have all of that accountants' businesses, right? Yeah. Obviously, a very, very smart business model, but it has increased quite a bit. And now they also offer some of their own bookkeeping. I know that it hurt a lot of bookkeepers and accountants to see that QuickBooks, the software that they've been using and the software that they encourage business owners to use, now offers this as a competitor. So not only are they a software company, but they're also competing with the very people that kind of built the business. And I know that has hurt a lot of people. On the AI side, QuickBooks has integrated, or they have some sort of integration, or they have, I don't know if it's proprietary AI already, where it looks at reports to some degree. I believe it helps with some categorization. I don't know how different it is from like the suggestions that QuickBooks had before. I don't know if you've played with the AI component of QuickBooks. I'm curious what you like and don't like about it, if you have.
I played it not a lot. I'll be honest. I need to know the competitors, but I have my limits on how much I can dig into. But I know their AI, and I've seen some videos about it. It's not really impressive at the moment. I think in general, we're moving into a direction of GPTs. This is where we headed, and the SaaS, the software as a service, and the dashboarding and all this type of stuff is slowly diminishing. It's starting to fall short with the needs. Now, people want to ask, my client Tyler, what is his cash flow now? How does it look? What is like the revenue? What is the you want to have this type of conversation, because we're becoming a bit robotic at the moment. We interact less with humans because we're a lot of home. These tools are becoming our friends. I find myself talking not only to myself in the mirror now, but also like talking with Gemini and like asking him what should I buy as a present, for example, because I mean I want to interact with someone, and this is what we're seeing in software as well.
It's funny you said Gemini, that you talked to him. I always thought Gemini was a her.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I'll ask her.
I've always thought in my mind that
I'll
Gemini is a
later.
her. That is funny.
Yeah.
So I want to like just I guess shift a little bit away from the high. Like AI is such a buzzword now, where even if there's software that uses a very limited version of AI, they can say that they offer some kind of AI, and then you get to it and you realize, oh, this AI is really not great, or it's hardly useful. What is an area where AI can be used today, where bookkeepers can use it and actually be efficient and it help their business?
Yeah, so AI is just I'm a representative of an AI company, but I would say AI is a parallel world, a synonym of a scam now, because it's a very it's a thin area where it can be really useful, but it can be really a scam, just saying it out loud and say, I have AI. But I mean, what stands behind the word, the financial models? But I would say I go a bit in another direction. I wouldn't say like, Claude, et cetera, to do all your reconciliation, categorization for various reasons, safety and pricing and just limitations. But I would say I use Perplexity, for example, for a lot of day-to-day tasks, and they save me a lot of time. For example, organizing sheets, organizing like your CRM. For example, you can just give him tasks and say every morning at 9 a.m. go and see like how many meetings I have today, and like so the small things, but there's add up to like 1 hour, 2 hour a day. These are essential. I would say AI is still handling better like smaller tasks. It's not that good to deal with like crazy stuff. I mean, for developer tasks maybe, but for the day-to-day, for accountants, they should focus on the basic stuff, not going too complex with that.
Like stuff that's not actually related to the books, but rather the business, like
administration,
like scheduling. Administration. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So when it comes to where AI actually integrates with any bookkeeping or any accounting software, what do you think is the most common error? So like if I'm using AI to help me with, I think everybody's waiting for AI to help them categorize transactions with the click of a button. I've tested a couple of models. I've tested different softwares, and there's always an element of human interaction where the human still has to be involved in it. And I think most good bookkeepers are wanting to keep their hands on it. I think the bad actors or the bookkeepers that maybe we're just, I guess, trying to grow a business with hundreds of thousands of clients maybe are wanting to just click a button. What is your thought on allowing AI to just do automatic reconciliations and automatic categorizations and automatic reports? Because there are softwares out there that claim they can do that now, and it scares the community of accountants and bookkeepers.
Yeah, so this is what we do, basically. But we also put on our logo a very important sentence: the human is always in the loop. Portali. I mean, we never tried and we never will try to replace the bookkeepers or tell them like that everything can be automated. First of all, because it cannot work. Yeah. There is the human element, and it should be there. Security and this type of stuff definitely is something you need to be worried about. But they always have to be in the loop. They always have to review it. There's no way this whole system can operate without the person eventually that understand the consequences, understand the relying context of every transaction. You have to review it. And I see something interesting happening now is that on the one hand, people are very scared. Bookkeepers are scared of losing control. And then on the other hand, they're going to this Claude type of software and just expecting it to do everything for them. So it's a bit contradicting. If you want control over it, just use a tool to enhance it, not like fully send it there without any control. I always press on giving specific permissions to Claude whenever he runs something, because I don't want him to run absolutely blindly.
Yeah.
commenting on posts or like other type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't trust him enough.
Oh, no.
No.
And so, I mean, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying AI is not in a place where it's replacing bookkeepers. And I asked you that question specifically because I know that that's what Portali does. And so when bookkeeping business owners see software being created like Portali, it does scare people. And I like to encourage people to be open to it because it should excite us. I saw your software and I'm excited. I'm excited about it and I'm excited about the possibilities. And I love that you guys are big on the human element, keeping the human element in it, because I don't think AI is going to replace us. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. I've often told people, if you're a bookkeeping business owner or an accountant, AI you're in a safe spot. AI is going to help you. You're going to be way more efficient. But I do think who might be, I don't know if in trouble is the right word, but who should be maybe at least a little worried are the employees of the accounting firms, because where it would take 10 accountants or 10 bookkeepers to do a certain job, it might take one now, and those other 9 become replaceable.
Yeah, I think you're right. First of all, we always said we don't try to replace the bookkeepers, and what we're trying to see is, for example, I've met a few bookkeeping firm owners, right, and they have somewhere between 10 or 20 clients, for example, right? So they're solopreneurs.
Yeah.
They already hit the cap. Like, it's not, I thought the cap is like 25 clients,
Yeah.
but I've seen some bookkeeping firms, apparently the cap is much lower. So
Yeah.
at 10 to 20 clients, they're already hiring 1 to 2 remote bookkeepers that are already helping them. So the profit margin is even lower.
Yeah.
And it's really like, you're starting to question, I think, like, is my business is profitable enough?
Yeah.
I can't even grow now because I already have 2 part-time employees. So we're trying, as you said, maybe eliminate one of these employees, but not because we think we don't like humans to work, but because we believe that one human can handle his own business with 20 clients easily with tech. So
And be profitable.
and be profitable. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what we're trying to do. So I wanted to say something about that.
I'm sorry, and I interrupted you.
No,
but
no, I just forgot what I wanted to say. But this is the main is just to help people, not
Right. And when you look at your income statement as a bookkeeping business owner, usually your highest expense, and in most businesses, is your salary, your payroll. And so being able to remain profitable, I think, is key, right? That's what keeps us in business. And, like I said, we just left a conference, and I see the same thing. There's a lot of people that they have clients up to, like, even as low as 10 clients. And I'm not saying 10 is very little. If you have 10 clients, you're making a solid living, and as I would consider that a success. But if you have 10 clients and then you're having to hire somebody, that's a little tough now. Now you're having to cut into your margins. And the first thing that most bookkeeping business owners do is they search abroad, right? They're looking to outsource this abroad because it's the low cost. So in a way, yes, there are bookkeepers that may get replaced because of the efficiency of AI, but it only benefits the business owner that much more.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is, it reminded me now, is you talked about the companies now who should be worried is basically the employees on those companies, right? And I think what we're seeing, I think I wrote about it a few months ago, the job would be already absolutely different. It's not a bookkeeper. Their employees, so there's the solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you can say, who owns his own business, but his employees should be AI bookkeeping specialists or AI bookkeeping engineers. This is how I see them, because they shouldn't be necessarily doing the manual entries. They should be orchestrating the different AI tools they have already and see how they work together. So it requires a different skill set. The new graduates forget about the QuickBooks Online, and I mean this financial knowledge. It's nice, but it's all online. But you now have to know how to work with all those systems.
I love that idea of, like, you're instead of you being a bookkeeping business owner with bookkeepers under you, you have AI specialists that know how to work with the software.
Yes.
I think that's spot on. I think that's key. So I want to get really practical with you now, Jonathan. If I'm a bookkeeper today, and I'm not using AI at all, whether that's as a ledger or like whatsoever, I'm operating as if it's 1995. Where am I wasting time?
Well, that's a big question. No AI at all, nothing.
Not AI.
Let's start from the basics.
Yeah.
Let's start from the GPTs, just
Okay.
starting to receiving information quicker than searching in the regular like Google search. That will save you some times. Organizing some basic Excels, using, for example, tools like Whisper, which transmits your voice into text, because it sounds funny, but it's $12 a month that can save you hours, especially
Yeah.
if you're trying to grow your business, for example, on LinkedIn or other platforms and comment on scale. If you need to type thousands of words every day,
Yeah.
this can save you 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day is 20 hours a month. This is money.
Yeah.
This is real money. So these are like, there's a lot of these type of tools already, other outreach type of AI tools, CRMs with AI type of like assistants. Yeah, it's the small things. I think it's the small things. And then when you
Yeah.
feel comfortable with these tools, you can start doing something more complex.
So you mentioned GPTs, and I want to dive into that some more. So GPTs, can you explain that to me? So like as if I know nothing. So GPTs to me is just 3 letters.
Yeah.
What exactly is that? I have no idea. I just teleported to this year from 1995.
Okay, yeah. So my bad. GPTs is basically I don't know the exact like I'm not even sure that it has a meaning, but GPT started mainly like as Chat GPT, but I think GPT now is in the context of all the machine learning engines that you can interact with using a conversation, and they return you some sort of a reply, AI generated reply. So GPTs are Chat GPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, all these types. So this is the world we are at. People want to chat or to talk with the robot. Losing a bit of humanity, that's for sure. We're becoming robotic, that's for sure. But we'll see where it.
Yeah. So I actually saw, and I use GPTs and then language learning models all the time to help me with like emails, especially if it's a difficult email where I have to deliver some bad news or.
Emails are great. The assistance of like Gmail, it does an amazing work. If you're not using it, it's crazy for me because you can just tell him polish my email, and he creates an amazing like human, like your style human email. This saves as well like hours.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's like whenever you have to deliver bad news or you have to explain something, sometimes I know this about myself. I tend to over-explain things, and then I can explain something to you, and I'll spend 30 minutes, and I've lost you because I took you into like 10 different rabbit
Yeah,
holes.
it's the looms you're sending me. You're killing me.
Yeah, I do send you a lot of looms.
It should take 2 minutes.
There should be 2 minutes, and then they end up being 10-minute long videos. I know that about myself, that I over-explain. So what I've used it for is like I'll say, this is what I need to explain. Now put this into like a 5th grade reading level so that it's easy to understand, especially the accounting. Like sometimes we forget that business owners are not accountants. They don't understand the language, and I need to bring that down and to their level to understand it. So I like to use things, and I like to use AI for that. I think it's like one of the easiest things to really implement it. And I think, you said something very smart. And I think like if you're not using AI whatsoever, one of the best things to do is just treat it like a search engine, right? Instead of using Google, go to one of those ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, whatever your favorite one is, and test it out and just play with it. I think it's fun. As a bookkeeper, what does the most efficient bookkeeper look like right now that's using AI?
It very much depends on which stage this bookkeeper is now at his business. I've met bookkeepers that have 20 to 25 clients, for example, and they're very comfortable with this number. They feel like they don't want to grow anymore. They tell me straight to the face, listen, I have 3 kids. I don't have time. I think now it's a bit of an excuse. You can grow without increasing your expenses significantly or working harder. But again, I respect everyone's decision. So I think exploring tools like Portali, exploring tools like Double for practice management, exploring tools like Kick is also a pretty good competitor of ours. There's other practice management tools. There's like Ramp. There's a lot of, they're doing a portion of your work, but maybe as a bookkeeper, try setting a goal for yourself for 2026, for example. Now we have like 5 or 6 months until the madness of November, December starts again, and then it will be February with the tax season again, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
With the, you have 4 to 5 months now. Use it to implement one tool, just one tool, and see how much time it saves you and how much more efficient you will be next. Maybe you won't be, but try implementing one. Don't try to implement 3 or 4 right away, because the systems need to speak with each other. But every half a year, try to see how you get better and using some of these tools, because honestly, it's like people that were refusing to, I don't know, going to the factory or like using a train in the past, or electricity. Eventually, I mean, you have to start using. You can't fall behind, but with common sense, just with common sense. That's it.
Yeah. So I want to kind of shift gears about and talk a little bit about Portali. And you've given us a lot of good just understanding of AI in general. And I think a lot of bookkeepers will resonate with your message. But you guys have been around. Now, what is something that Portali got wrong initially? Like, what is something that the software did or maybe wanted to do and then realize this is the wrong way to go, or maybe we should try something different?
The first things that comes to mind is pricing.
Okay.
Pricing. We're talking about profitability with AI, and this is still a big question in this industry. And we're seeing now, for example, I see it with my day-to-day work when I'm using Claude. I can see the limitations starting to be more strict. So I'm hitting the limits there with my tokens per se, very quickly with the $20 or $25 program.
Yeah.
What that says to us is that people behind the curtains are currently starting to calculate, am I really profitable? If I'm the CEO of Claude, am I profitable? This is what we did first. So we did mistakes with the pricing. We were calculating it, but we figure out we cannot charge $20 from a bookkeeper, right? If he has a client that has 200 transactions a month, a store, for I don't know, a small shoe store, and he has a factory he's working with that has, I don't know, 5,000 transactions a month. I cannot charge him $10. I mean, it needs to be token based. So I think a lot of AI, and this is, we made mistakes with the pricings for sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't adjusted well enough, and then we were getting questions like, but how do we calculate this, and and what if I move to the next tier? I have 51 clients and not 50. And there were questions that are creating some sort of friction points, and we figure out we need to create a low entry point, and whoever sees the value of it start to consume it. And it might cost you $2,000 if you have only 20 clients. But what if you finish everything in 15 hours and not 150 hours?
Yeah.
So you can just remove one of your outsourced employees, because you should be the one managing the business and just invest it into marketing, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
And grow your business.
So, and that's something that we have, for a lot of people that don't know, that anytime you're using AI, you're being charged a token as the software. We've developed like some agents for our community as well, for the AI bookkeeping community. And it is difficult to price, because we can have somebody like one of our members that uses it religiously, where they're using it a lot. And then we have members that aren't using it a lot. We're getting charged based on usage. So I totally understand why that could be difficult, especially when you're working with like a ledger. But I think a lot of our community especially, and I don't know that all accountants or bookkeepers charge this way, but we strongly recommend like our students through bookkeepers.com to charge based on number of transactions. They charge, so if their client has 1,000 transactions, they're charging them more than the client that has 100 transactions. And I think a lot of, especially our community at least, would understand that aspect of it, why you charge more. I don't know if that's true for all accountants or bookkeepers, but I know ours would.
Yeah, no, it's true. The pricing model for us now, it consists of a combination of transactions plus API calls, bank connections. For example, when a bookkeeper connects his clients, it's an API call using Play to connect the bank account and then syncing. So yeah, all these actions are summarized into something that we built to be profitable, because we don't want to find ourselves in half a year, like in a year from now, and like apparently we're losing money.
Yeah,
We're gonna close the company.
Yeah, you
so
don't want
you'll
that.
have like
Yeah.
200 clients now, and you're just closing the company. Your model wasn't even profitable. So the pricing models now with AI is very, very tricky, and I think the biggest companies as well are trying to still figure it out now
Yeah.
and understand what's going on. Like ChatGPT, like all of these companies, they're trying to figure that out. It's not easy.
Right, because they're paying based on usage per token. So the best way to charge bookkeepers or any AI users is token based, but I think it is a difficult thing to sell to consumers, that they have to pay, and the tokens are always different depending on how complex the ask is, right?
It's a new sales pitch you have to invent.
Yeah.
For me, like it's a new sales pitch. So now, if someone has 5 clients and the entry point is $20, and I told him usually it's enough for like 5 clients, for example, right? But what if his client is like a huge, I don't know, like medical center with tons of transactions, and he comes to me after one day that he used all his tokens, and he's like, why do I need to pay? But it's part of a new sales pitch. You have to explain him, listen, your 4 other clients, how many transactions they have? 30. But we seen in our system, we're tracking it, and you uploaded 500 transactions in one day. I can charge you the same. You can agree with me that it will take you much more hours to do it. Same as for the work done. It's just changing the sales pitch. It's changing the logic. It's setting new mindset. But it makes sense. It just makes sense.
That's interesting, because with AI, I feel like we're having to relearn things that maybe we were taught a certain way. And AI is changing everything, not just in the bookkeeping space, but just like in the sales, because you're having to sell this in a completely different way that you've ever had to sell anything before.
Yeah.
So you just, I mentioned a couple of times we were at a conference and you met a bunch of bookkeepers, you met a bunch of accountants, tax preparers, CFOs. What is something that, with just talking with these business owners, what is something that you find that these bookkeeping business owners do that maybe you didn't expect?
That's a good question. I think, first of all, some of them are sometimes using a lot of tools, but they're not really utilizing them. For example, I've met a few people that are like, oh yeah, I'm using this software, but I'm not really consistent on like my clients to use them. So then basically you're paying for a software for 50% usage at max. I think, if you have clients, you're the boss. Eventually, you're the one telling him how you should work. And if you see that a specific tool gives you like leverage on others and help you, like you should insist on with your clients to work that way. If you want to gather the receipt in a certain way, tell them we're in 2026. The world is changing, and so is your clients. The clients need to understand that sending you an email or sending you like WhatsApp or whatever medium it is, and just send you 500 receipts now, it's not gonna work. You should go to this specific software and upload it there. So I think some bookkeepers, and I understand it's a very gentle relationship with the clients. They're not forcing them to move towards 2026.
Yeah.
And it becomes a mess, because operationally they lose money. Everyone loses. It's a lose-lose situation. And you also now pay for a software you don't even utilize. So this is the main thing. Another thing, I can't think of it now. But there are.
If it comes to you, interrupt me, and we'll.
I think another thing that comes to mind is just the opposite thing, right?
Yeah.
Just not utilizing anything, like using only QuickBooks, for example. Or I don't think there's anyone that is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are there like people that are still doing like everything in Excel without even QuickBooks?
Usually business owners are. Rarely is it a bookkeeper. I think most bookkeepers see the value in a ledger, in a platform that offers the general ledger. But I think where you see that is like a business owner that says, hey, I don't really need software. I
think every bookkeeper that's, sorry for mailing, but I mean everyone who's using only QuickBooks and they're like somewhere in between 5 to 10 clients, and this is the stage where like they feel, damn, I'm working a lot of hours.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have more time anymore to deal with marketing or sales.
Yeah.
This is where like it's not enough. You
Yeah.
have to add some sort of automation, some sort of tool to your business, because that's it. You're capped.
Yeah.
So like the next step is just waiting until one of your clients will drop, and then you acquire another one. But this is a loop. That's it.
That's a tough place to be, and I think a lot of bookkeepers find themselves in that. I feel like I was in that position at one point too, where I thought, there's no way I can take on another client. That's a terrible place to be in, because you want to continue to grow, because if your business isn't growing, it's dying, right? If you're not continuously having prospects reaching out to you, or you're doing some kind of reach out to prospects, then your business is essentially dying. And it's a really tough place to be in, because you can't grow, and sometimes you're so busy you can't even sell yourself, where you're just stuck doing the work. It's rough. So Jonathan, I do this with all of our guests that I interview here, and we have kind of fun with it. So I have I have like 5 questions for you, and you just have to answer me yes or no. Don't give me any more than a yes or no. We'll explain later.
Okay, that's good that you told me, because I
You're
can
gonna
shut my mouth sometimes.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so yes or no, AI will replace most bookkeepers.
No.
QuickBooks will dominate the industry in 5 years.
Yes.
Most bookkeepers are undercharging.
No.
You can ignore AI and still build a great firm.
No.
The best bookkeepers in 5 years will look completely different than they do now.
Maybe.
Yes or no?
No.
It's tough. It's tough. Okay, so let's dive into that. We'll go backwards. We'll dive into the last question, because that was interesting that you said maybe. I'm curious, what made you think that the best bookkeepers in 5 years will look completely different? Yes or no? You said maybe, and then ultimately you said no, that the best bookkeepers will look still relatively the same. Give me a little bit of context.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 for me, because what I see now, I feel like the tech is evolving pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Not only in accounting, but in general. But the bookkeepers are not exploring it and not implementing it in the way it progresses. So there's like, let's say this is the line of the tech growth, but the bookkeepers are somewhere like here.
Okay.
It's very slow. So when I said maybe, is because I believe it will change, but they won't look completely different. And as I see it now, they're still toward the no, towards not implementing things, or implementing it too slow with the progression of tech.
Why do you think that? Do you think it's fear?
Yeah, it's a lot of factors. I think fear. Also, I think when you're overwhelmed, some are feeling overwhelmed with 5 clients already, or 10 clients, especially if this client is like a pain in the ass, sorry for my language, and he's like bugging you all the time, sending you messages, and it's like, you know, you're wasting a lot of time on him. Imagine now telling them, you need to implement a new tool now. They don't have an implementer. This is why, by the way, we're offering like a pretty cheap service of implementation, because we understand that it's hard to do it by yourself. You have 10 clients, you have kids, you have things going on in your life, and now you need to implement, even if it's pretty simple, you still need to implement the AI tool and understand how to utilize it effectively, not just connect it, but really make it work for you. And people don't have time, so it's fear, lack of time, lack of technology, or how to combine their system, for example, their CRM, or to work in a specific system. Yeah.
Okay. The other question was, the second to last question, I asked, can you ignore AI and still build a great firm? You said no.
For now, no.
Yeah.
We might see in a few years that everything was a scam.
Yeah.
It might happen. It might happen that big companies just realize, like, we're not profitable. Like, oh, guys, we're closing everything. And then we're just, okay, we're going to take a step back.
And when you say that you're talking about the AI companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a scheme that you can see, like, of the connection between AI companies. So basically, Gemini is under Google, and the other one. So like their revenue is tied on bigger projects, and I've seen it somewhere on YouTube or someone that is covering these topics. Basically, they are connected. So the one is usually OpenAI is involved sometimes in other GPT, and they're like financing them. So like it's a bit of a loop. If one of the cycles break, we might see a total crash out
Where
of
they
all
all-
of this.
yeah.
So this is why I think still having people that can code and create your self-built LLMs, like pure code, it's still super important.
Yeah.
And I think we forgot it a bit. I'm talking about myself as well. And this is scary. This is really scary.
Well, even me, like I rely on AI a lot with helping me articulate some things, and I do feel that way too. I feel like I've lost a little bit of that skill to just critically think. Where I have a difficult task where where I have to think of ideas, or I have something in my mind and I can't put it into words. I feel like that skill that I had has gotten weaker because I'm just relying on the AI to help me with that.
Yeah, the consequences of AI, and it's a bit different topic, but we will see them. I think there are researchers that are conducting some researches about it now. But just like with other substances or whatever, research takes time. It takes 10, 20, 30 years. I think we will see it in 5 or 10 years, maybe 15 years. I think some of the results will be pretty shocking, and I think it will be rough. We're losing the ability to think, especially I think the younger generation, Gen Zs or whatever. I don't know.
Wherever we're at
There's
now.
like tons of Z, X. I don't know where it is. I'm 30. It's not like I'm a boomer, but still. I think we're gonna see a big decrease in like the ability to think, to use our brains, to do math.
Yeah.
Like if you ask someone on the street now how much is like 8 times 8, I mean I know it, but I was but if you ask someone who is 20 or 15 even, because you should know this, will he know? I hope.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I think that's bold that I like how outspoken you are about it, because I think it doesn't speak to the message that not only Portali has, but you as a human, as a person has, that it's as you guys have an AI generated software, and for you to have a message like that, I think that's wise, and I think it does to me. It shows that you guys really believe in having the human element in it, and that it should always stay that way.
We have to keep it that way, because there's a book by Professor Yuval Noah Harari, which was my professor in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. He's a worldwide expert on demography, on the implementation of AI. And he's talking about things that are changing now, and about millions, tens of millions of people that will go potentially on the streets without having a job. Let's try to keep ourselves humans, right? Like we have to be humans eventually. Let's help ourselves with tech, but let's not forget that we're humans. We don't want tech to replace everything. There's a limit to it. So, and whoever tried to sell to, and this is for you out there who is watching, whoever tried to sell saying we're going to eliminate your job or AI will do everything for you, good luck. Like, good luck selling that to people.
Yeah.
I mean, not going to work.
Right. So moving on, you said most bookkeepers are undercharging. You said, I believe you said yes on that.
No, I said no. I don't think they're overcharging.
They're undercharging.
They're undercharging.
Yeah.
No, I think it's like it's the pricing now. It's all right. It's not.
It's okay.
It's not
So then it becomes a question, and I had a conversation with actually one of our members here in the AI bookkeeping community. There becomes a question of whether it is morally okay to use AI, be more efficient, and still charge the price that you were charging before.
I want to clarify why I said I think they charge accordingly to what they need. I think they're charging accordingly if they utilize AI in their business. The old scheme, the old models of doing everything in QuickBooks, all the manual entries and everything, it's underpaid. Not because of because just the methodology wasn't built the right way. Yeah. Because it takes you 8 hours to clean the books. Of course, you're not earning anything.
Yeah.
So with implementation of tools, if you're techie, I think it's all right charging. I see some companies charging $250, $300 for a cleanup. Yeah, it's all right. If you use tools, yes. If you're still doing it the old way, you're in a bad position.
Yeah. Well, cleanups are typically, for the bookkeeping industry, they're a big moneymaker because, I mean, they're a pain because you have to do, I mean, you're catching up years sometimes, like 3-4 years worth of accounting. in a month or 2 months or 3 months. You're trying to do that so quickly. And so it's a moneymaker, but usually the bookkeeper is spending hours, sometimes days, just
I've
working
heard
on it.
months.
Yeah.
I've heard 2 months recently for a cleanup of 15 months.
I mean, it
2 months.
it can take a
And
lot.
then you really start to think, like, if you calculate the money, I don't know if it's, I mean, I think it will be profitable,
Yeah.
but what if there are some setbacks in the process?
Yeah.
These are hours you usually don't even like count them, right? Because they're
Yeah.
like, and then you might be losing on this.
Yeah.
So yes, you're underpaid if you're not utilizing any other tools.
Yeah.
This is 100%.
So you said QuickBooks will dominate in 5 years.
Yes, unfortunately.
You believe?
But it's the truth.
Yeah. So there's a lot of accounting and ledger softwares out now. I feel like whenever I got into the industry, there was QuickBooks, there's Sage. I don't know who, like, there's very few people using Sage now. And Xero was like the new company coming for QuickBooks. And 9 years in, and it still seems like QuickBooks is still dominating.
And it will.
Yeah.
And it will continue. And the thing is, they have I think 75% of the market cut now.
Mm.
In 5 years, okay, it might drop to 70. It takes time. It's still millions of people that are using it, so it takes time. I think they will continue dominating for sure.
For a while, yeah. I would put my bets on them as well.
Yeah, they are, and also the other AI general ledger tool does not so much. And when you think about it, there are a few competitors of ours they still can say that they're profitable. They still depend on VCs. So when you compare how many AI general ledger tools that are really like profitable, you can say that are compared to QuickBooks, which is officially not a AI GL tool, and I don't think it will be, by the way, or it will be in 5 or 10 years. Not a lot of companies that can say we are not depending on foreign money, like on others people's money. Mm-hmm. So yeah, people won't run away so quickly and switch.
When you go to conferences and you see the amount of money spent on some of these on their booths and stuff, I think it's pretty apparent that there's no way that company's profitable. Based on what their spend is like, you just know there's companies, and I think that is important for bookkeepers to understand, because when you go to live events like that, you see this company and it looks beautiful, and they sell you on an answer or a solution, but when you actually get behind the product and you realize, I can't believe I bought this thing, like and you realize a lot of it is being funded, but from VCs.
Yeah, shout out to the people that seen me running around at Salt Lake City at the GrowCon without the booth, and they're asking me, "Where is your booth?" I don't need a booth. This is the marketing, and they're demoing and they're using the software. I don't need the booth. But it's a bold statement, what you just said about not being profitable, but it might be true.
Yeah.
It might be true. Marketing spending is very, very tricky, and it also can explode in minutes without control.
Yeah.
I've been there, and it should balance between the marketing spend and the AI consumption if you're an AI company.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's being done now. I can speak in their name, but I don't know. But the marketing spends are crazy. Yes.
So, and the last question that you answered here, I asked, it was the first question I asked, AI will replace most bookkeepers. You said no, and you said it pretty quickly. I think that's a bold statement from someone that's in the AI space. You work in the software, in the industry, in accounting. And yet you are one to think that it's not going to replace bookkeepers. Number one, I think that's going to be very comforting for our audience of bookkeeping business owners, because there's a lot of fear of that happening, and there are a lot of softwares and other people that maybe are affiliated with software with AI that will use that as a scare tactic to get them to onboard with their software.
The amount of employees might be a bit a bit lower, but it won't replace all bookkeepers. That's for sure. Because if you're having problems, who are you gonna sue? A robot?
Yeah.
I mean, if I have problems with a specific software, I need to have a human being in front of me so I can address my problems and tell, listen, like, you're not helping me. I'm gonna sue you. For example, right? I'm just taking it to the extreme, but I mean, you have to have someone validating the numbers eventually when you set into the tax preparer or to your CPA, for example, right? I mean, you really trust AI to do everything blindly without you, like this is people's money.
Yeah.
This is people's money. If you trust AI so much, great. But if you're not gonna validate it, even if you're gonna have 1% of your current work you're doing is just validating,
Yeah.
you still have to be
You
in the
still
loop.
have to do it.
You have to be in the loop, because otherwise, when your customers, when your clients are gonna sue you because of a $20 mistake you did,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's like? I mean, you have to be careful. So
And a lot of times these clients are using these financials to get loans. I can't imagine like your client receiving a loan and the data is incorrect. And now they're stuck paying something they truly can't afford.
I think it's happening now. It's very tricky. It's a very tricky road to go with, and this is why when people say, "Oh, I use Claude," and I'm like, "Yeah, bookkeepers," I'm like, "Guys, you're responsible for people's money.
Yeah.
Please be responsible. You can use AI software, but please overview everything. Make sure that it's aligned. If you see something that is, you want to flag it in your head and like and ask your client, just do it.
Yeah.
Don't trust it blindly. This is crazy for me. No."
Jonathan, I want to end with this. What is, if a bookkeeper is watching this video right now and they want to stay relevant over the next decade, the next 10 years, what is one thing they can do right now?
Try to be a better self learner. Try to see questioning yourself, self criticism. It's good in relationships, it's good
Yeah.
in work, it's good in everywhere. But now with the rise of tech, ask yourself if the workflow that I have now in my company is really effective. Do I have questions to it? Do I like the way I work? Does it make sense to me?
Yeah.
If you're not questioning anything, start doing it now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to change your entire stack and move everything to AI and go crazy with it. No. But just ask yourself, I don't know, like sending manual 500 emails a day, for example, instead of doing an email campaign with a specific AI tool, is it reasonable?
Yeah.
Start from these, just asking yourself about your current workflow. Just put it into small boxes, small pieces of like, my communication with my clients is through this medium, this one, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it. Small
Awesome.
things. Don't go crazy with asking, like looking for solutions for everything.
Yeah.
Small solutions.
I love it. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much. And for those watching, under this video, we will have a link to Portali, the company that Jonathan is the COO of. We'll also have a link to our AI membership if you want to join that, and a link to our courses. Jonathan, again, thank you so much for joining us. I think I learned a lot, and I learned a little bit about you, and I love hearing where you stand and where, as speaking as a COO of this company, I think it's very bold. A lot of the things that you said, working in the AI space. I love seeing the human interaction that you bring, and not only that, but the human interaction that you hope to keep.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure, and I love what you're doing as well, educating people, on AI tools with the right approach, really helping them and not scaring them, which is it's a big thing. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Thank you.